All right, so today I'm going to talk about trusting the unknown, which is a step that we must take in order to fully live in the unknown, to live in the quantum reality, to be available and listening to what is real and alive in the moment. There's a step that we take with our ego, which is trusting the unknown. And of course, when something is unfamiliar to us, right, when it's not a predetermined track, right, when we can't see the steps, when we're not when our energy is not siphoned in a predetermined track, like a train track going round and round and round in habit and structure, in expectation, right, the mind freaks out, right, because it has organized itself into structure, right, in order to make you feel safe, in order to make you feel like you have some kind of control. And I'm going to tell you some stories like I do. Really, they are parables. Like Mia, somebody that watches my videos, shared that word. It's a great word. It's really true that, at least in my life, probably in all of our lives, right? If we think about what we've learned and how well our life illustrates that teaching, it is like a parable. Our lives are like parables. So I'm going to talk about trusting the unknown. And again, I've had very extreme versions of lessons, which I love because I am an intense soul and I want to be completely free. And so to the extent that you want to be free is to the extent that you expose to yourself the parts of yourself that believe they are prisoners, the parts of yourself that believe that they are not free. So I was at another Joe Dispenza meditation retreat last week. And during the first meditation that we did, I was deeply focused on my heart chakra. And something that happens to me when I do this style of meditation is that the parasympathetic nervous system starts to freak out, right? Essentially, when the body encounters a new frequency, the unknown, right, the body starts to freak out. So my palms were literally pouring sweat, okay, like pouring sweat. My heart was beating so fast and loud that it was the only sound that I could hear. And I was kind of like writhing and making these noises because the energy was so strong. I felt like I was in a rocket ship that was getting ready to blast out through my crown. And in the Joe Dispenza work, they call that the pineal pop, right? And often you go through a tunnel of light and there's beings on the other side. And I've had lots of experiences with non-physical energy and mystical experiences. I've been conscious out of body, but I've never been conscious during the disconnect from my body. Actually, that's not true. But I don't experience it in this intense way. It's very like soft, just like whoop, just like floating out. But in these meditations, this thing happens where your parasympathetic nervous system gets activated and your body starts having an extreme reaction to this really intense vibration, which is essentially the unknown, right? A new level of love, a new level of God that I am touching. And so I'm in my body and I feel like I'm in a rocket ship. Not exaggerating, like I'm in a rocket ship and I'm trying to relax. And what I notice is as the energy is rising, right, getting ready to leave through my crown, my mind comes in and it's like, it starts to think and the energy goes back down. And then I let go of my mind and the energy comes back up. Then I start to think again, the energy comes back down. I let go of my mind, the energy comes back up, right? So that was like a really clear example for me of like, wow, I'm actually thinking on purpose. And my thoughts were like, okay, slow down, not yet, not quite yet. We're not ready for this big whoop moment, not quite yet. And so I saw very clearly like the machinations of how this works, like the energy of Kundalini, the energy of life force wants to go into the higher chakras and take you on a journey that's just epic and incredible. And the mind interferes with it. The mind interferes with it and then pushes the experience back down. And so I'm watching this for a little while and I'm like, this is incredible, right? And so at the end, I just let go and the energy comes up into my brain, but it fizzles out in my actual physical brain. I don't have the pineal pop. I don't go through the tunnel and go to the other side during that meditation. But I understood how this whole thing works, the nuclear energy of life and then the mind interfering. And I was like, wow, what are the implications, right, in the everyday sense of like, what if life is always trying to explode into your reality, something incredible, and you talk yourself, right? You talk yourself out of it. You talk yourself out of it with your fear, with your doubt, with your rationalization, right? How often do you have a pattern interrupting intuitive thought, like wear eyeliner today, right? I haven't worn eyeliner habitually, at least, for many, many years. And I woke up today and I said, I want to put on eyeliner, right? Just that little thought, it was newness coming into my reality. It was newness that I allowed in my reality. Whereas if I allow my mind to stay gridlocked in habit, right, on that train track of habit, I'll eat the same thing every day. I'll order from the same place every day. I'll eat the same thing for breakfast every day, right? I'll do the same thing every day. Why? I don't wear makeup. The logical reason, because my skin, I don't want to put chemicals on my skin because I don't want my skin to break out, right? That's like the rational mind coming in and pushing down newness, which life is essentially nuclear newness and incredibleness. And the rational mind talks you out of a new life, being in a new universe, new possibilities, new life, new realization of yourself. And this is connected to little everyday thoughts that are actually not little at all, like wear eyeliner today, right? Have watermelon for breakfast instead of scrambling eggs, right? When you have a new thought, when you have a thought rise out of your heart or even drop into your mind, it's literally a bridge to a new universe. It's a bridge to a new universe, right? But yet the rational mind, where life is rising in you, right? The rational mind comes in because it wants to feel safe and it pushes it back down. So now we're back in death, essentially. We're back in time, we're back in habit. So, I wasn't even expecting it to come out like this. I was just going to talk about doubt and trusting the unknown. But if you want to live, if you want to feel alive, and if you want to allow new things into your life, and you feel you might even have a relatively unstructured life, right? Many of us are working from home, and so more of us have more time, less restraints, less structure. But if you still feel like you're in a lull, right, it's because probably you're ignoring thoughts coming from your heart, thoughts coming from your mind, life rising in you in some way, and you talk yourself out of it. You doubt it, you rationalize it. Oh, let's not wear eyeliner, like that's not good for our skin. Let's not have peanut butter for breakfast, that's not healthy. But when in fact that might be the exact thing that your hormones need, right? And you open up a whole new universe of stability and health. Playing with makeup, right, opens you to an energy of femininity, or at least me, an energy of femininity and play and kind of this mother energy, like of, yes, being grounded in my femininity and beauty and playing with my beauty again, going into my wardrobe again, right? After these years of loungewear and comfort, which serve their purpose. But I'm getting ideas every day about how to dress, about the way that I have engaged in physical movement has completely changed. I just make up my own like weighted dances in a way. Like I use little tiny weights and I do dance moves. I'm just making up my own new way of moving and let it be totally intuitive. But what that meditation showed me was, Alex, God is trying to explode into your experience, but your mind, right, is powerful and it can push it back down. So in my case, right, with that meditation and with the Kundalini awakening that I had, it can feel hard to trust the unknown because, you know, with Kundalini awakening, I'll be driving my car and this kind of rocket ship thing will start happening. And I will have the thought like, oh, am I going to crash? Like, can I stay on the road? And so far, nothing has happened. So far, no danger has come to me. So far, I haven't passed out. Not to say that that can't happen, right? Joe Dispenza says that Kundalini energy knocks him out all the time. I thankfully haven't been knocked out. I don't fall out of my chair or I don't crash my car. So what it's taught me is that it's intelligent and I'm cared for and I can trust life no matter how scary it looks to my mind, no matter how new it is, right? When I'm in that rocket ship of Kundalini energy and my heart is beating faster, you know, than it's ever beat before, and my hands are pouring sweat and my body's making noises that I've never heard before, and I feel like I'm about to blast off into a new universe, right? If I let go, if I surrendered to love, I don't even know yet where it's going to take me, right? The power of surrendering and trusting the love of God, the love of the universe, the unknown is so incredibly powerful. And in a way that that's relevant to you in your everyday life is when you have an intuitive thought. It might be an unknown, it might be a new thing that doesn't match your habit, right? It doesn't match your routine, it doesn't match your structure. But every time a thought like that comes into your awareness, whether it's like this or bubbles up from your heart, it's literally God extending a bridge to you into a new universe. So don't talk yourself out of it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Cross the bridge. Relax, right? In the case of a thought, take action on it. People want to know how to increase their intuition. Take action on those thoughts. Thoughts that are a product of death, right? Which is an extreme way to say it. A product of time, a product of being gridlocked in structure and habit. They literally feel stressful and they literally kind of feel like they're being secreted from the front of the brain. If I knew more about neurochemistry and anatomy, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a literal correlation between thoughts of time that come from the front of the brain versus intuitive thoughts that either bubble up from the heart or drop in through the top of the head. They feel like a bloop. They feel like they're actually just being born right now. It doesn't feel like you wake up in the morning and you're already thinking about what you need to do, right? That's stressful. It's pulling you onto that train track of habit. It feels like, whoop, try this place today. Clean your closet. Take your tennis racket to the wall. Hit some balls. Yay. It's simple and it's short and it's complete, right? It's not this like dragging you into habit and moving your mind going into the future, right? It's just hey, this would be nice. Bye. And don't worry, if you don't catch the thought and act on it, you'll get another one. But this was a really powerful experience for me. And all I have to say is, like, what we truly want is to live in the unknown, no matter how scary it is, no matter how, you know what's incredibly beautiful? Joe Dispenza, he explains that the body actually has a built-in mechanism. Your brain, or forgive me again, I don't know, I don't have a good memory, so I can't tell you verbatim, but like part of your body secretes a hormone called vasopressin. Essentially, we are wired to encounter the divine in the form of more electricity, in the form of more energy. The brain, I believe, secretes vasopressin, which is an antidiuretic hormone, which actually engorges your cells with more water so that you can conduct electricity more. Isn't that beautiful? Like, we're literally wired, we're designed to expand into our divinity, right? To encounter more electricity, more energy, right? To be like astronauts and psychonauts and into the unknown of this nuclear love of God. Like our bodies are literally, they have a protective mechanism to help us ground that energy into our existence. That's incredible, isn't it? So what I learned was, essentially, what is happening in me is any trace of doubt and fear is just becoming boring. Like, okay, yeah, it's frightening when your system, your nervous system, is encountering something new, right? The change can feel uncomfortable because it's not something that your nervous system has a plan for. But it's interesting that your nervous system is wired to help you expand into greater states of awareness and into greater states of divinity, and to be able to trust that. Like, the fact that our body does that is a mirror that, like, there is a safety net. Like, it's okay to go into the unknown, to fully live in the quantum reality, to expand your awareness out of your habits, out of your structures, and to open your awareness to possibilities, right? To live as the quantum field, not to project yourself anywhere. Just be available to aliveness right now, right? Like, oh, the places you will go if you just give up this, right? This tendency to push it away, this tendency to rationalize your intuitive thoughts away, the tendency to assume that you're in the wrong place at the right time, right? So surrender, part of surrender in an attitudinal sense is stop assuming that you're wrong. Stop assuming that something has gone wrong. Life is trying to explode, take you to ever new and increasingly amazing places, yet your tendency to look at yourself as being in the wrong place at the wrong time, condemning yourself, it just pushes that down. It pushes it away, and it'll come back. And you have another opportunity to say, am I going to trust that I'm in the right place at the right time, that there's nothing wrong with me, that everything I've lived is something I designed, and I can claim that, and I'm ready to benefit from the life that I designed, right? To mold myself out of, right? To chip away what is not me, not just of my personal karma, but the karma of lineages, right? Of many people, right? Chipping that away so that I can be an expression of the divine. Can I trust that whatever life is moving me through is all a movement of life taking me into greater and more expansive and more amazing awareness of my divinity? Woo! It's amazing. Life is amazing. No matter how scary it looks, no matter how much your nervous system freaks out, if you can relax your mind enough, right? Which means, can you live in your heart, right? When I was in that meditation and my body was freaking out, I just sat in my heart. I rested in my heart and I said, God, just take me. I'm yours, right? I'm yours. And, you know, like I said, I've talked a lot about my spiritual awakening and the awakenings I've had, the different kinds of awakenings to different levels of consciousnesses that I've had, but there's always more God. There's always more love. There's always more love, more God, more ability to realize ourselves as divine. And I am a humble student of life that wants to experience that in the fullest way that I possibly can. And so that involves, right, really letting go of doubt, letting go of questions. Again, I love that the last line in The Power of Now, I think it was the last line, I don't remember, I read it a long time ago, but it was something like, how do you know you've arrived? And he says, you stop asking questions, or you stop asking the question, have I arrived? Right? So stop asking questions, stop doubting, stop thinking you're in the wrong place. Don't assume anything has gone wrong in your life, and just see what happens. See what happens. See where the rocket ship takes you. So that's my message for today. I hope that the stories that I share illuminate the points well. I hope they help it drive it home in a way that it can be metabolized, understood by you. Yeah. And I hope you have a beautiful day.